Hi, everybody. Welcome into Sports Talk Chicago. My name's Jon Zaghloul. Great to have you here on 59.3 BPOD TV and on Roku. Big show for you today. We're talking about White Sox. We focused on the Bears a bit, but the White Sox have just clinched a playoff spot. We'll talk about their season and what to expect for them come the postseason. Before we get started, make sure you follow me at Jon Z Sports on Twitter and Instagram or on Facebook at Jon Zaghloul. And if you want to watch more of this show, special clips, interviews, anything of that sort, find me on YouTube at Sports Talk Chicago or at sportstalkchicago.com. And make sure you subscribe to the BPOD TV YouTube page. You can watch clips from this show, full episodes, and other shows from the BPOD TV network. All you have to do is search up VPOD TV. Before we start today, I have to tell you about State Farm agent Brian McDevitt. A lot of our listeners have gone to him for all their insurance needs. He's been very helpful, getting them the coverage they deserve. There's no game with Brian. He's just here to help and make sure you feel safe. So if you have insurance needs and you haven't called him yet, what are you waiting for? Dial up the number, 630-796-2662. That's 630-796-2662. Or find him online at bryanismyagent.com. That's bryanismyagent.com. And make sure to mention Sports Talk Chicago. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I want to start today with this. And the Tony La Russa critics, please stand up. Raise your hand. I want to read you some of the headlines that were written when Tony La Russa was hired. Quote, the White Sox hired Tony La Russa for all the wrong reasons. Hiring Tony La Russa is a new level of condescension by Jerry Reinsdorf. MLB fans crushed the White Sox for hiring Tony La Russa. So it sounds like the Tony La Russa hiring is already not going great. Please don't hire Tony La Russa. That was before he was hired. Where is everybody today? Where are these critics? That's right, they've gone away to their cave. Because the fact of the matter is, Tony La Russa was a great hire for this team, and as of today, the White Sox are in the playoffs. First time since 2008, they've made it under a regular format. I know you could say it's all about the players. We'll get to that. We'll get to why they're actually there. Tony La Russa plays a small part, but there were people claiming La Russa would take this team. La Russa would be the issue. He would be the fault for them not making it, for them losing 80 games. Didn't happen. The day La Russa was hired, made a video saying, great hire, and I got crapped on. Not a surprise. But I ask again, where are those people today? Oh, that's right, they're celebrating the Sox getting in and lambasting the Cubs for being a bad team. That's what Sox fans do. All of you forgot about Tony La Russa, about the hiring, about the controversy surrounding it. I did. Got the receipts right here. These are real articles written by real people talking about the problem with this. And it's a horrible idea. Disrupts chemistry. He's a dinosaur. He doesn't know anything. Well, knows how to win baseball games. Knows how to win a division. Knows how to manage a team. Knows how to win a World Series, couple of them. And oh yeah, he's good enough to be in the Hall of Fame. But no. Bad manager. Horrible choice. And that's why the Sox won't succeed. Gotta love this narrative. This was made by mainstream media. Everybody said, bad manager. Didn't happen. I'm here to do my victory lap. All of you came after me. All of you said a horrible idea. Fact of the matter is, it worked. I know the playoffs are still to come. We'll talk about what that means, but for the moment, it worked. Tony La Russa actually got the job done. People claimed the most outrageous things about this team. They said this team would collapse because of the manager. Didn't happen. Sox needed a leader. Rick Renteria, good manager, good guy, not a leader. No. No experience, no playoffs. He is literally a developmental manager. That's it. That's all he is. Nothing wrong with that, but He's not equipped to handle a World Series caliber team. Russa is. And to his credit, he's gotten the job done this year so far. He's managed some good talent, made some tough decisions. And so far, he's found ways to win. I will say this. The Sox have cooled off in the second half. That's not an understatement. They've been 27-27. That's concerning, for sure. They faced better teams, and they haven't performed all the time. Here's what I do know, though. Come a 5-game or 7-game series, when everybody's healthy, everybody's ready, you put out your best guys ready to succeed, I do believe they're a World Series caliber team. They could be in the World Series this year. They can. Have the talent, have the manpower, have the depth on the bench to get the job done. But look at this lineup. It's just so impressive. Really is. I mean, it's so impressive. Yasmani Grandal came back from an injury, sitting above 340 since coming back. A 949 OPS in 82 games. Jose Abreu's killing it. 113 RBIs, 29 homers. His average was better, could be building an MVP case. Tim Anderson, Yohan Moncada, they're doing great. Luis Roberts still hitting 350. Eloy's down to 251, but still an OPS plus above 100. And these are guys who I would really expected some of them to do well. Some of them were hurt. There were questions. All of them, for the most part, are performing. There are 2 disappointments for the Sox right now, 2 big ones. Cesar Hernandez is hitting 218 since he was acquired. He had 20 homers when they got him. He's had 3 since. He's been the starting second baseman. That might change for the playoffs. Just saying. And Craig Kimbrell. Cubs won that trade by a mile. Not even close. They get Nick Madrigal, who's young, under team control, could hit 300. And Craig Kimbrell, that's a 5.68 ERA since joining the South Side. I don't know how to explain that. You know, the change of scenery could have been a problem. Being on a new team, being in a different role, having to switch off closing roles with Liam Hendricks could have been a problem. But to me, there's no excuse for a 5.7 ERA. No excuse. When the team, too, that got you traded away a good prospect, good player. Actually gave up a decent, hefty price to get Kimbrell. Didn't work at all. Maybe it's the Cubs getting back at the White Sox for the Jose Quintana trade, but seriously, that's not good. Craig Kimbrell should be better. When you look at his numbers on the season, they look great. 2.26 ERA, but his ERA was 0.49 before he came to the White Sox. Going up by 2 runs. And it's just a pattern for Kimbrell. It was 5 in 2020. It was 6.5 in 2019. And even in 2018 with the Red Sox, he had some issues. ERA ballooned to 2.74. It was 1.43 the year before. I've always rooted for Kimbrell. Always thought he was a good player. But this, I've seen enough. I've really seen enough. I mean, this is horrible. This is horrible. You give up a good player, Nick Madrigal. This is what you get in return. The Sox lost this trade. You know what? I don't even care about the trade part. Let's even put that out the window. I'm talking about from a playoff perspective. You need bullpen help. You acquired somebody to bolster your bullpen. They can't produce. That's a problem. That's a big problem. And they have guys doing okay. Tepera was doing fine, then he got hurt. Jose Ruiz is doing well. I mean, Kopech, Bummer, Crochet, they're all fine. I mean, the core of the bullpen's okay. It would have been nice to have Craig Kimbrell. Could be a Hall of Fame closer, could be. Would have been nice to have him actually be good, pitch well, not throw a 5 ERA and blow games. but it's happened. 12 earned runs in 19 innings. It's not going to cut it. It's a shame. Same with Dallas Keuchel, too, by the way. Sox right now are debating who they're going to put in their rotation for the ALDS. My suggestion is keep out Keuchel. Get him the hell away from starting the game, from even pitching. That's not a personal attack on Keuchel. You can't be throwing a guy with a 5 ERA. You just can't be doing that. Lance Lynn and Carlos Rodon were Cy Young Award candidates. They're still pitching well. Lucas Giolito, 3.70 ERA. And yes, Dylan Cease, the youngster, former Cub, has earned the right to get a start. That's just how it goes. Oh, but Keuchel has seniority. He's been to a World Series. I don't care. That was 5 years ago. We're talking about today who are the best 4 pitchers in the White Sox rotation. Keuchel doesn't make the cut. Doesn't even come close. Should be Lynn, Giolito, Rodon, Cease. Top 4, done. That's it. No, Rodon is hurt. That's an issue, but he's supposed to come back. If he's healthy, that's who you pitch. It's been a major disappointment. Here's the one positive, though. I read you off this list of disappointing players. What, can I name 3, 4? Everybody else, for the most part, has performed to their potential. And a lot of guys have exceeded it. Tim Anderson still hitting 300. Jose Abreu continues to perform. Yasmani Grandal has been probably the biggest surprise for this team. And their rotation, to me, still one of the tops in baseball. It's not anybody else's fault that the ERAs in baseball are high this year. Lucas Giolito's top 10 in baseball in ERA. It's at 3.7. I'll take it. I'll take it. Lance Lynn and Rodon, they were up there, but now they don't qualify. But still, I'll take that. I'll take 2.47 ERAs from both of them. That's rare. In this year, very rare. And as you all know, when it comes to baseball, when it comes to the playoffs, pitching wins over everything. Pitching and defense. And I know it's an old cliche, but look back to history. 1997. Indians didn't win. Great team. Albert Bell, Jim Thome, Kenny Lofton. That lineup was stacked. Stacked lineup. Didn't win. Marlins won. Marlins had good enough pitching. Marlins won again in 2003. Good pitching. Josh Beckett, A.J. Burnett. It worked. High-powered offenses don't work in the postseason. You need arms. You need pitchers to go 5, 6, 7 innings a start. Now, it's been different recently. Pitchers have gone 4, 3, and you give it to the bullpen. But in this case, for the White Sox, they have pitchers capable of going deep in games. That's huge. Huge. Their rotation's one of the best in baseball. I'll still maintain that. And if you get Keuchel out of the mix, you start those 4, I think you're going to be okay. I do. Bullpen might be a bit iffy. Craig Kimbrell should not be on the postseason roster. That's just me. And yes, the offense could be back and forth. But you have a core of offensive guys who you know are going to perform. Moncada, Anderson, Grandal, Luis Robert, Jose Abreu. That's your core. That's it. When you break down the White Sox and take a look, in depth, at who produces the most for them, it's those guys. When you look at their rotation, they have a 4-man rotation that's solid. Very solid. When your number 4 starter has an ERA of 4.09, you're doing something right. Never mind the small, rough spots for this team. The Kimbrell thing, Keuchel, I get it. Right field. The positives for this team, the depth they have, the core of their offense, and the core of their starting pitching outweighs any potential negatives. The Kimbrell thing is a microcosm. It's so small compared to the fact they have 4 capable starting pitchers. And they have 5 or 6 guys in the lineup who you know can count on to produce. Same with Keuchel. Keuchel is not one of those 4 starting pitchers That's okay. Doesn't need to be. Had the opportunity, couldn't perform. That's no one else's fault but his. Move on. You're competing for a World Series championship here. There's no patronizing. There's no, well, Keuchel's older, we got to give him a start. No. If you're dead set on a World Series championship, guess what? You have the pieces to do it. You do. The question is, can they execute? And will they be played correctly? This is Tony La Russa's biggest and tallest task. He's done a great job so far. I don't care what anybody says. If he wins a World Series with this roster, that's all you need to know. That'll come after those people again who said, bad hiring, bad for the White Sox, going to drive them into the ground. It didn't happen. It didn't happen that way. You might have wanted it to happen, but it didn't happen. Unfortunately for you. I can't wait to see this team play. I'm very excited. They got some pieces. They have some really good players, quality players who I want to see in a postseason environment, selfishly. I want to see how they do, and I want to see where they could grow come next year. Remember, everybody keeps forgetting this is not a one-shot opportunity here. Sox are going to be good for 5 to 7 years. Everybody's under contract. So the question is, if they don't do anything this year, what could they improve upon? What could be made better for next year? Number 5 starter, bullpen piece, right field. Fine. I want to see these young guys in a legitimate postseason environment. Not like last year. Last year, because of COVID, 16 teams made it. That was a joke. This is real. This is real postseason baseball. I want to see what they're capable of. I want to see Tony La Russa manage this roster. I want to see execution and performance. Second half has been rocky, no question about it. It wasn't what the first half was. The first half, for the most part, was dominance. And they started 8-9, but then it turned into dominance pretty quick. Second half has been up and down, ebbs and flows. They need to catch heat at the right time. They have a week and a half here left. They have to catch heat and get going. Look, they're 20 games over 500. They don't have the best record in the American League, but it doesn't matter. The division is weak. They're going to win it. That's fine. They don't need to be dominant. Show everybody that they're the best team yet. They just need to be ready. They need to be concerned. In a 7-game series, if you go 162, or if you go 101-61, will make a difference. 2008, Cubs and Angels. Two teams with the best records in baseball bounced in round one. Angels won 162, bounced. Cubs 197, bounced. Done. Record means nothing in a 5-game or 7-game winner-take-all series. So for those of you griping about the record, griping about, oh, they should be 90-60, Pythagorean win-loss, it doesn't make a difference. They weren't going to get home field anyway. They weren't. Rays are great. They're going to get it. Fine. Who cares? That doesn't mean they're a bad baseball team. That doesn't mean that they haven't executed or haven't lived up to their potential. They're going to be fine. I really do believe it. Can't argue with their rotation. 4 guys ready to go. Kick out Keuchel. Sorry, but kick him out. That's not personal. It's just a fact. I'm not going to throw a guy with a 5 ERA just because he's a veteran when Dylan Cease is killing it or doing better. And you have your core of offensive superstars. Moncada, Anderson, Grandal, Robert Abreu. Those are your guys. That's what excites me about this team. They have a core. They have an identity. They know who they could lean on in the rotation and who they could lean on in the lineup to win. How many teams have that? I don't. How many teams have 5 guys or 6 guys they know, okay, we're counting on you to perform? How many teams have 4 capable starters in their rotation? And look at the Cubs this year. Cubs thought they'd be a great team. And they had Jake Arrieta as a starter, whose ERA now is at 8. Teams could try and convince you that they have good starting pitching, but the fact of the matter is, unless you see performance, they don't. Sox have seen performance. They do. They have one bad apple. The rest of the 4, solid. Solid as could be. That's how they're going to win. Rotation's going to be huge. When you have run producers in your lineup, you're going to be okay. This team is a World Series team today. The question is, can they execute? Will the moment be too big? Can Tony La Russa manage them correctly in a 7-game series? Only one way to find all that out. Gotta play. Gotta play, gotta see what you can do. I'm excited. Can't wait to see their growth. But nothing's given. They are a World Series team. No question. They have what it takes. They have the talent. But can they come through when it matters most? Can they beat a team above 500? Only time will tell. But I'm very excited about this White Sox team. If I were you, I'd make sure you tune in. Thanks for watching today's show here on BPOD TV. Remember to follow me at Jon Z Sports on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook at Jon Zaghloul, and search up Sports Talk Chicago for more great clips. Big interviews coming up still with Jared Diamond this week from the Wall Street Journal, and a Bears preview for Week 3 against Cleveland. Make sure you tune in here every night at 10:30 on channel 59.3 in Roku on BPOD TV.